Hello, everybody. I don't know if this is working. I've had all sorts of trouble today. Um, Firefox is not working with Google Hangouts, Microsoft Explorer. I'm showing my audio is working. I'm not showing my camera working. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I don't know if anybody can see or hear me. Um, I wish they would just leave the internet alone. Quit all these updates. Let us develop a routine. It's just unbelievable. But anyway, I think my camera appears to be frozen. I apologize if this video should prove not to be working. I'll just take it down. But interesting developments. We do have a members vid chat tomorrow. Hopefully, cross your fingers, because if this isn't working today, it may not be working tomorrow. So hang in there, folks, and bear with me. I've let my tech guy know, and blogs are not automatically posting on Facebook. It's one thing after another. Anyway, very important little article appeared on Zero Hedge. This was actually written by George Friedman for Malden Economics. The title of the article, which I've linked, if this video actually works, is Germany's delegation to Russia signals that Merkel is looking for new allies. There is a tremendous long passage in here that I think is very important. I want to kind of tickle the article a little bit by the opening 3 paragraphs. Quote, a delegation of executives from major German corporations recently met with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Such delegations are not unusual. Sometimes it is routine, sometimes a courtesy, but occasionally it has significance. In the case of Russia-Germany relations, such meetings are always potentially significant. 2 relations are crucial to Germany, and he goes on to mention the crucial nature of the European Union, Germany's relationship with the United States, and then, of course, Russia. Now, I want to read the very lengthy middle section here because there's some very good analysis, and there's a suggestion of something that might be heading down the pike. And it's going to involve some high-octane speculation. So I want to mention this, read these long sections here, and then mention what my speculation is. Both the United States and Germany are members of NATO, but they have radically different views of its mission and its economics. Germany has the world's 4th largest economy, but its financial contribution to NATO doesn't reflect that. Skipping now to the major chunk of this article that I want to read you. The Eastern Europeans are increasingly alienated from the Germans on the issue of Russia relations and on the refugee crisis, and more closely aligned with the Americans. At a time when German relations with key Eastern European countries are being tested, the added strain of U.S. policy in the region is a threat to German interests. Germany wants the Russia problem to subside. The U.S. and its Eastern European allies think the way to accomplish this is through confrontation. Germany's foreign policy has remained roughly the same since 1991, even as the international reality has changed dramatically. This is forcing Germany toward a decision it doesn't want to make. It must consider what happens if the EU continues to disintegrate and if European countries' foreign policies and politics continue to diverge. It must consider what happens if the US continues to shape the dynamics of Europe in a way that Germany will have to confront American enemies or refuse to do so. This isn't just about Russia. We see the same issue over Iran. Germany cannot exist without stable economic partners. It has never been self-sufficient since it reunified. It must explore alternatives. And largely, folks, this is the same strategic German problem that has always been there. A very, very powerful economy, a heavy industry that is second to none in the world, and a lack of resources and a narrowing population base. Of course, their own population policies have not helped that. very much, but nonetheless, this is the strategic reality that Germany has been in since the days of the German Empire. So let me continue. It must consider what happens if the U.S. continues to shape the dynamics of Europe in a way that Germany will have to confront American enemies or refuse to do so. This isn't just about Russia. We see the same issue over Iran. Germany cannot exist without stable economic partners. It has never been self-sufficient since it reunified. It must explore alternatives. The most obvious route for Germany has always been Russia, either through alliance or conquest. Germany needs Russian raw materials. It also needs the Russian market to be far more robust than it is so that it can buy more German goods. But Russia is incapable of rapid economic development without outside help. And with the collapse of oil prices, it needs rapid development to stabilize its economy. Germany needs Russia's economy to succeed. And what it has to offer Russia is capital, technology, and management. In exchange, Russia can offer raw materials and a workforce. And that's the nub, that's the centerpiece of my high-octane speculation today. An alignment with Russia could settle Eastern Europe in Germany's orbit. With the way things are going, and given Germany's alternative, the Russian option is expensive, but potentially very profitable. But Germany has a problem with Russia. Every previous attempt at alignment or conquest has failed. And this goes all the way back, folks, to Chancellor Bismarck, right after the founding of the German Empire and the attempts that he made to create a permanent state of alliance with Russia that unfortunately Kaiser Wilhelm's foreign minister allowed to lapse, and that the Kaiser himself attempted to repair. And for a brief moment in 1907, it looked like he might do that until the British stepped in to ruin that rapprochement. In any case, Germany has a problem with Russia. Every previous attempt at alignment or conquest has failed. Building up the Russian economy to create a robust market for German goods would certainly benefit both countries, but it would also shift the balance of power in Europe. Right now, Germany is militarily weak and economically strong. Russia is moderately powerful militarily and economically weak. An alignment with Germany could dramatically strengthen Russia's economy and with it, its military power. Having moved away from the United States and de-emphasized military power in the rest of the European peninsula, Germany could find itself in its old position, vulnerable to Russian power, but without allies against Russia. Now, I think that's a little bit of spin toward the end of Mr. Friedman's analysis there, that Germany is looking for allies against Russia. I think the problem is that so long as Germany's unsettled about the European Union, things are going to continue to be unsettled with Russia. But this little visit from German corporate executives to President Putin, I think, may be heralding, and again, this is prediction, time alone is going to tell, may be heralding a rather significant shift in German policy for the following reasons. Number one, Merkel and her Christian Democrats did not come out of the last elections in a very, very strong position. In fact, they're very weak. And Merkel has lost, or either kicked out, but in any case, she has lost two of her best minds in her former cabinet, that being the foreign minister Steinmeier and the finance minister Wolfgang Schäuble. All right. Neither of these men are now in her cabinet, and I'm suspecting that they are going to reemerge in German politics down the line, because the economic alliance with the United States and the sanctions regime are not working out toward in Germany's interest. So the long-term prospect here is, and I think Friedman is dead on here, Russia can offer raw materials and a workforce. For a weakened Merkel government facing the European refugee crisis, which has been partially of her making, and the weakened showing of her party in the last elections due precisely to the influence that the refugee crisis is having in European politics and in Germany. Frauke Petri's Alternative for Deutschland party picked up, I think, approximately 90 seats in the Bundestag simply as a result of unhappiness with this refugee policy. Russia would be able to supply labor that would be from within a more or less European cultural milieu. And this would be the magic solution, at least to that aspect of Merkel's domestic and foreign policy situation. So I'm expecting that there will be something coming out of these visits, and in return for this Russian labor. The big problem here is going to be Eastern Europe, because like Mr. Friedman points out, if Germany and Russia are able to come to some sort of actual working agreement, this is going to put the squeeze once again on Eastern Europe. And of course, the United States is going to do everything it can to prevent that from happening. I don't think it's going to be successful because in the long term, Germany absolutely does need stable economic trading partners, and a stable situation with Russia is absolutely vital to that. So I think there's a hint of a new domestic policy in Germany being suggested in this article that in turn is going to create the conditions for a win-win situation as far as Germany and Russia are concerned. Germany needs the labor, the Russians can provide it. In return, the Russians want German economic and technological assistance, which the Germans can certainly provide. And of course, hovering in the background of this is Germany's energy requirements and raw materials requirements, which again, Russia can provide. So it's going to be very, very interesting. The United States is going to try and keep pressing Germany to buy its energy at incidentally higher cost from the United States. Again, this does not make sense from the German point of view. And this is going to impact, if I'm correct in predicting a fundamental policy change, although it's going to come gradually, if I'm correct in predicting a fundamental policy change from Germany in the next few years, it's also going to take the European Union in a different direction. So the other thing to watch for now is how Frau Merkel is going to handle her statements in the European Union itself regarding the refugee crisis. This is going to be one to watch, I think, folks. Anyway, don't forget, tomorrow we do have African European members vid chat at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time. I am going to try and get this situation worked out with these video feeds and so on. I don't know what is the matter, but if I do have to cancel, please watch my Facebook page, watch the website community page, and I will try and get this technical problem straightened out. Anyway, that's it for News and Views this week. We'll see you on the flip side, everybody. God bless.